Hi friends, I'm Katie Brinkley and you're listening to Rocky Mountain Marketing. With nearly 2 decades helping business owners, consultants, and coaches with their digital marketing, I know that social media can be an incredible tool to grow your business when you know how to do it the right way. And that's what we're going to do today. I teach you how to navigate the world of entrepreneurship and digital marketing, and hopefully you'll grow your business with a few great tips you wouldn't have known otherwise, and maybe even discover a great local business you love. Let's dive into today's episode. Welcome back to this week's episode of Rocky Mountain Marketing. I'm so excited to be sitting down with Austin Armstrong. Now, Austin and I actually met a while ago, and we've had this recording on the books for quite some time. I've been following him on social media, and I'm really excited that he is joining us today because he's going to be talking all about vertical video. Yes, folks, landscape video is out. Vertical video is in, whether you want to use TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels. People want to see you when you hold your phone up vertically. And he actually has had the opportunity to grow his following to well over 1 million followers across all these different social media platforms from, again, TikTok to YouTube. He is verified on YouTube now. I've seen him go through some hassles with TikTok and get his TikTok back, but he's just a wealth of knowledge, and he's going to talk to us on how we can grow our audience using this vertical video, and we might even have the opportunity to get into a little bit of a discussion about artificial intelligence. Austin, thank you so much for joining me on the show today.
Katie, thank you so much for having me on. It's an honor.
Yeah, well, and like I said before, we had our call a few months ago, like our kickoff call, and then, the holidays and everything. And here we are finally sitting down together. And when we had our kickoff call, I then checked you out on social media. I gave you a follow, and I see you show up in my feed just about, 42 times a day. From your thought-provoking Facebook questions and Facebook posts to seeing your vertical videos with you showing up and giving us the different tools and websites that we need to know about. I feel like I should know this. It's these websites should be illegal or something like that, right?
Close enough, yeah. 5 websites that feel illegal to know.
Yes, that's it. But yeah, so talk to us a little bit about your entrepreneur journey, because you've really exploded over the past year, but you've been in business for a while now. So just take us a little bit through your path of entrepreneurship to where you are today.
Yeah, and thank you for that. So it has been quite an explosive year and journey, and a lot of people might think overnight success, and I hate that because it wasn't. I've been at this for a very long time. And it just sort of clicks sometimes. And when it clicks, that's where momentum builds. But I've been doing digital marketing and somewhat entrepreneurship for about 18 years now, actually. So I started back on MySpace when I was 14 years old, dabbling in social media growth and social media marketing. Before, influencers was even a term, we were gaining large followers of people to follow us on MySpace, and we would do email lead gen. We were promoting some of our own websites that we had and services that were related to stuff that was relevant 18 years ago, promotions for bands and t-shirt companies and all kinds of stuff. So I got bit by that bug really early on in the social media game.
I was going to say, before you go on to the next rung on the Austin Armstrong ladder, that's when I started. So I'm a little bit older than you, but I was in college and I started with MySpace, and I worked at the college radio station. So part of our duties was to get bands to send us their music for free. And so we were writing these handwritten letters. I was like, this is a giant time suck. So I went on MySpace and started connecting with bands and making these connections. And so I also saw the power of social media very early on, and you definitely took it into a helping with lead gen and email and stuff back then. But for me, it was, hey, I can help get your music off of MySpace and get it onto the radio. How about you come on to my radio show? I'll interview you. We can do some giveaways. And it was building those relationships. So for me, I kind of went in with a different approach of relationship building. You went in with that business mindset. And I mean, at the same time, Austin, I don't think either one of us would have ever expected that we'd be sitting here nearly 2 decades later
No.
with social media as our job, right? I mean, it was a fun hobby.
Yeah, it was something. I saw the potential early on, and there was some downtime in between. I almost wish that there was no downtime in between, because when I was 14, 15, 16 when I was on MySpace, and I didn't, think that I was making great money, and it was borderline, unethical, sketchy a little bit. I had like 100,000, 150,000 followers on MySpace, and so people would come out and they're like, just generate me emails. I'll pay you $1 or $2 per email. And so I would just do like a status post and it would generate a ton of emails. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I can make a lot of money doing this. And it never really clicked for me early on that, oh my goodness, I can do this full time as a career, and continue that path. But I came back to it later on in life, and I'm glad I am doing what I'm doing now. And I truly do feel that it's my purpose in life, as silly as social media might seem to some business owners and entrepreneurs. I feel like it's my calling in life, and these platforms have drastically changed my life and improved every aspect of my life. And now I'm just kind of on the mission to help others as well. But so fast forwarding a little bit, about 8 or 9 years ago now is when I really started to get into the video marketing space, which is all the precursor to any sort of success that I've had today and this previous year, really. So I moved across country from New Jersey to California, starting fresh, starting new, a young 20-something-year-old, motivated to take on the world, and stumbled into a video marketing agency that specialized in the behavioral health space. We gave a platform to addiction treatment centers and professionals, psychologists, therapists, interventionists, psychotherapists, everybody in the behavioral health space. We gave a platform, and we were very warm and inviting in how to create content in that space, because a professional, particularly in that industry, they're a little shy on camera a little bit. So figuring out tactics and strategies to get them more comfortable on camera and share their expertise. And this is a skill set that really stuck with me later on in life to starting an agency. But I stuck with that, and I really took an untraditional path in life. So I don't have a college degree. I'm pretty open about that. It's, nothing against it. It just wasn't the path for me. So I went from internship, unpaid internship, to paid internship, to part-time, to full-time at that marketing agency. And that led me to being head of digital marketing for a couple of drug and alcohol treatment centers, because that was my background at that point, getting really good at social media and video marketing for the behavioral health space. And a little over 3.5 years ago now, I had started Socialty Pro, my digital marketing agency. And that was my first full-time foray into entrepreneurship. I'd done some dabbling and some side hustles and whatnot, but this was my first foray into full-time business ownership and getting that started. And my business partner was actually my boss from that internship. So I've stuck with him. He's been a huge mentor in my life. And it's been awesome to go from unpaid intern to business owner in a matter of less than 9 years, which is pretty cool. So yeah, fast forward today, and we just launched our second company, so we're getting that off the ground, and it's been quite the journey. I've gained, this year in particular, I think I'm at, we're in 2023, but yeah, last year I gained about 1.5 million new followers. Current count is about 2 million, gaining about 200,000 followers a month across the board right now. So the growth is just absolutely insane. And it's really because of short form vertical video, which we can segue into some strategies.
I definitely think that with vertical video, it's been kind of almost a necessary evil for a lot of people over the past, I'm going to say almost 3 years now. Since the pandemic, that's when I really think that the vertical video became more mainstream. And there was a lot of resistance, not resilience, resistance for people to, oh gosh, you want me to dance and point? That sounds horrible. But I mean, I know I wasn't on TikTok until the pandemic. Then the pandemic happened. I got on TikTok. I'm no longer on the platform, but I mean, like, that was my introduction to that short form, entertainment video. So talk to us just a little bit about how vertical video needs to be a part of your social media strategy.
Well, so you said it so well. Vertical video had been around before. TikTok didn't invent vertical video. There was Vine for a little bit. Vine walked so TikTok could sprint, essentially.
Yeah.
And Snapchat's been doing vertical video for a long time, but nothing really exploded like we've seen in the last couple of years. And it very much was because of the pandemic as well. So everybody was in their home. And if you think about an early TikTok song, I'm bored and I'm in the house and I'm in the house bored. If anyone remembers that, right? That's the epitome of why this stuff blew up in the first place. Everyone was in their house bored, looking at this shiny new object in a overly saturated social media landscape where all these platforms have been around for well over a decade at this point. So, 15, 16 years, a lot of these. And here comes TikTok, this shiny new object that's not gated with paid advertisements. It's come as you are. It's unfiltered, unlike Instagram. It's just be who you are, be raw, be authentic, be funny, be quirky, be weird, be you. Right. And so it was just so refreshing. It became so adopted so quickly. What do all of these other social media platforms do? When there's a threat, they adopt the features. Right.
I like that you said adopt instead of copy, but yes.
So they copy the feature. And TikTok already copied Be Real. So that's what these platforms do. They just steal from each other, but they, whatever, model each other. But in the last 2 years, we've seen, because of the fast growing platform of TikTok, we've seen YouTube Shorts roll out. And they were really smart about their launch too, because it coincided with India banning TikTok. So there was a huge gap in the marketplace, and YouTube was the first to fill that gap. So YouTube Shorts rolled out first, and there's a lot of really exciting stuff happening with YouTube Shorts right now. And then we have Instagram Reels that rolled out shortly after, and then Facebook Reels, which is very exciting right now. Facebook Reels, the organic reach on them is astronomical. And so that was a long-winded lead up, but to answer your question is, all of these platforms are pushing this content organically, algorithmically, more than anything else. So in my opinion, as someone who's been doing social media for 18 years, it has never been easier to grow an audience on social media than right now, because it's a race for attention with this new format of content. Short form vertical video, 60 seconds or less. You don't have to pay to play. You just have to be good at creating short form content. It's so much easier than creating a 10-minute, 15-minute long YouTube video. You can crank these out so fast. And it's the editing software on your phone has never been easier. But really the benefit and why you should be doing this is that by creating evergreen content, which means it's always relevant, always good, doesn't pertain to a particular platform, right? That addresses a problem of whoever you're trying to reach, whether you're a business owner now, or you're an aspiring business owner, or you just want to create content and gain a following. Figure out who you want to reach, what problems that they're dealing with, and how you can resolve those problems in an interesting, unique, fun, edutaining sort of way. And one vertical video, you can upload across the board. You can upload that same video to TikTok, to YouTube Shorts, to Instagram Reels, to Facebook Reels. I'd also throw Pinterest in the mix as well. Pinterest has a lot of great organic growth for short form vertical video. And 5 years ago, or even longer, the general thought and the general advice from social media experts was, no, you have to create unique pieces of content for each social media platform. Never repurpose; it doesn't do as well. Not right now. We're in this crazy window of opportunity. It's not going to be around forever. There's always going to be a new shiny thing that comes out, right? That's just the path of this. But Right now, you can create one really well done short form vertical video, post it natively on all of these big platforms, and you're going to grow as long as you're consistent with it.
And I think that that's a good point with this. It is a different strategy because, for showing up on LinkedIn versus how you show up on TikTok, I mean, there's two very different strategies. But if you're creating the vertical video, that is one of the few things that you can just take and paste across across Facebook, Instagram, TikTok and YouTube and Pinterest, you said. I think it's absolutely true. If you're going to create the vertical video, why not push it out there? Because you do have the opportunity to have it hit on one of the platforms. Now, if somebody is listening and they're saying like, yeah, that sounds great, but I don't even know how to take my video off of TikTok and put it on Instagram without the watermark, or I lose the sound, Austin. What is your advice for them? So, I mean, like for me, I record things not in the app. I know a lot of people still do that, and then they use third-party tools to download them. But what is your advice to someone who says, okay, I'm ready, Austin, to start repurposing my vertical video across all the platforms? What's your tip for them?
So a couple different things. It depends on how much time that you have. I'm gonna offer 3 suggestions. What I'd recommend is shooting off app like you do. I edit in InShot and or CapCut. That's how I create content. CapCut, if you don't have it on your phone, get it. It's free. It's a very powerful and intuitive video editing app. Everybody needs it. You just edit right on your phone and then upload it natively to each individual platform. Upload it to TikTok, upload it to Instagram, etc. And that's going to let you add in the native captions and text on screen and background music to each platform. That's the best way to do it. That's going to give you the most organic reach. I know it creates a lot more work for you, but if you're able to do it that way, I highly recommend it. Now, if you're a business professional and you say, absolutely not, I will not manually upload to everything. I don't have an assistant that can do this for me, whatever. If you're a TikTok first creator and you upload onto TikTok or you just record in TikTok or whatever you want to do, you can take the URL of that TikTok video and go to snaptik.com or snaptik.app, free website. Don't download the app. App makes you pay. Just use the website. It's forever free. It'll download the video watermark free. To address a point that you kind of alluded to there, sometimes there's a little bit of an audio gap. So if you're lip syncing a song, just keep that in mind, that there might be a little very, very subtle audio delay from your mouth. I don't find it noticeable. Most of the time it doesn't impact performance whatsoever. But then again, I'm not lip syncing to music. I'm creating business and marketing oriented content. So it's not the biggest deal. So take that as you will. And then, so also, if you're an Instagram first creator, if you create Instagram Reels, you love the platform, you love how it edits and whatnot, you can go to instavideosave.net, which is another free website. And same thing, you can download the Instagram Reel watermark free. So then you can repurpose that and upload that.
See, I've been using InstaFinsta for...
Yeah, that's another great one.
Yeah, but I haven't heard of that one. So that's good to know, because sometimes, websites go down and you're like, well, this is what I was going to do today. And now I'm kind of stuck having to put it off for another day.
Yeah. And then one final tool that I'll suggest is repurpose.io, which is a great automation tool. And there's a lot you can do with it. So one is you can link all of your social media to it. And so say you want to only upload to TikTok. What it'll do is you can set it so it'll automatically take that video once it's posted and download it watermark free and save it to a Google Drive folder. And you can also do this with your entire account. So if you've ever wanted to bulk download all of your videos in one shot, repurpose.io can help you with that and remove all the watermark and saves it in one core file. But you can also have it post to all of these other accounts to you too. So you can set up these automations so that all you need to do is post it to TikTok and it'll download it watermark free and it'll upload it to Instagram Reels, upload it to YouTube Shorts, upload it to Facebook for you, Pinterest as well.
Oh, and I think that, Austin, that's That is a great tool right there, because you've saved how much time, because you have automation that's taking care of all of that for you. I want to ask you, so I mean, like, there's a lot of people who are still using mostly trending audios, even yours truly. So I mean, regular listeners of the podcast here, they know that video has been uh, a bit of my nemesis. But there's a reason I have a podcast. There's a reason I went into radio instead of television. Video is for me still something I'm trying to embrace more. But I try to do every other. So I do a talking reel, and then I'll do a trending audio, and go that way. For people who are still doing mostly trending audio, maybe they haven't even started doing some talking reels or talking TikToks yet, and they want to use a tool like repurpose.io or Finsta or any of those that we talked about, what advice would you give them on how to get that trending audio for other platforms, or just kind of, are they out of luck?
Yeah, so that's the downside of repurposing it, is that the music will be native on that video then. So if you're using a trending audio, it'll natively attach it to that video and upload it that way. So this is actually really important, because this is where you can get into some copyright issues. So if you use like a Taylor Swift song or something, even though it's like, even if it's on every single platform, if you're uploading it with that song in the file, you're going to get slapped with a copyright violation, or it's not going to be monetizable. It might take the sound off of the entire platform, etc. That's why I recommend either using, if you're repurposing, only using copyright-free music if you're going to upload it across the board, or just upload natively to each platform and add that music in there. So if you're using trending sounds, just keep that in mind, that it's not going to automatically attach the background or the trending audio sound to that audio file and list of videos that use that audio track on the platform. Now, I have seen, I think, Instagram sort of automatically do this sometimes, but I don't know how good that functionality is. Like, if it detects a song, I have noticed this a couple times, that they'll add it, like, this song has been added to this.
Yeah. And that's one of the newer features, I think, that I don't know if it's like quietly rolled out, but I mean, all of a sudden, like, I uploaded a reel, and it was like, this seems like it'd be a great song for it. And I was like, okay, if you say so, then whatever you say, Instagram, here, push it out to more people, please. But no, I think that is maybe something that's slowly being rolled out. I mean, I do now have on Instagram the capability to stream across platforms, like from Facebook to LinkedIn and Instagram. And I know that is slowly rolling out to the masses. So maybe that also is something, if you haven't seen that feature for your short form videos on Instagram, maybe it's slowly rolling out. So Austin, I want to ask you a little bit, for those who are listening and they're saying, I understand that I need to do short form video, but I really don't know what to say. I don't know, like, what prompts to give. I don't know how to write the hooks. What is it that really makes me different? Do I just go and I give tips all the time? How would you help guide somebody that is going to make vertical video part of their marketing strategy in 2023?
Well, I'm going to loosely plug a new tool that I'm creating that does exactly that. And then I'll give the long-winded answer of how
that was a nice softball right there to you, Austin, right there. Yeah. Knock it out of the park.
Yeah, syllabi.io, syllaby.io is a tool that's going to help you do all of those things that Katie just set me up for. It can show you a list of keywords that your customers are searching for. It's going to generate you scripts that you can recite line by line on those individual topics. And it's going to hold you accountable and so you can stay more consistent with your uploads. So definitely, it's on a wait list right now, but go to syllabi.io if you want to join that wait list and check out the beta. But the real answer and how we, do all of this, and basically I automated and with the power of AI, took my process for doing this and turned it into that tool in general. But this is the manual process. the opening hook is the most important thing for your video. The attention span is just absolutely terrible on all of these platforms, worse than a goldfish, arguably, because you're scrolling through an unlimited amount of content. If you don't hook them in the first 2 seconds, the next video will, right? You have to say what that video is about. There's no time to introduce yourself at the beginning. I don't recommend doing that at all in your content, to be honest. Like, you have less than 60 seconds to create a piece of valuable content for them. Don't introduce yourself. Save that for another video. Make sure your profile is optimized so they know who you are. Links to your website so they can find out more. They're not stupid, right? They just have low attention spans. So take advantage of that. If you're talking about, how to overcome depression, if you're a therapist, right? Just as an example, you want to open that video up immediately with 5 ways that you can overcome depression fast. Something along the lines of that. If they're struggling with that, if that's your target audience, if that's something that somebody comes to you for your service for, that's going to resonate with them. That's going to stop their scroll so they continue to watch. Then you just need to build up tension and deliver on the value of the opening hook. So, just jumping right in, tip number 1 is this. Tip number 2 is this. And maybe have a micro hook throughout that content, not to get too advanced here for a second, but holding their attention throughout, right? Like if you're just a talking head that's just going from point A to point B or to point Z, you might lose some people along the way. If it's just, there's no editing, it's just single talking head. Again, you have to, hold their attention throughout. So, saying like, here's a point, tip number 1 to solve depression is X, Y, and Z. But if you stack that with the last thing that I'm going to show you, it's going to help you achieve these results way faster, right? So it's like hooking them in once again to continue to hold their watching. And then at the end of that video is just telling them what to do next. Follow you for more tips on overcoming depression or whatever your service, product, or business offers. And as far as scripting, bullet point the information at first. One of the most difficult things for professionals is taking complex pieces of information and bringing it down into a less than 60-second video. It sounds very intimidating, right? Because you went to school for years at a time. You've spent decades learning and crafting the skill set of how to, do the thing that you're an expert in. How do you communicate that in a 30-second video or a 60-second video? It's very difficult. But if you structure it that way, right? Opening hook, bullet point 1, bullet point 2, bullet point 3, closing call to action, and you just structure every video that way, that's the best place to get started. You can stay consistent with that. You can improve that over time. You can improve how you're communicating. But if you just stick to that structure, that's really going to help you get started.
And I think that, Austin, too, it's once you get into the flow of creating these short form videos, it gets easier and easier. And I think that with what we've seen, man, we're not that far into 2023, and I feel like 2023 is going to be the year that we fully embrace artificial intelligence as part of our workflow of how we go and go to the office. I think it was you. I think, like I said, I see so many of your posts, but I think it was you that said the way that AI is going to be affecting the workplace is going to be similar to the way the internet affected it. And I think that because there's a lot of people right now with artificial intelligence that are like, it doesn't seem authentic, or it's going to take away jobs. But I think that it's not. I think it's going to help streamline our workflow so that we have more time to do other parts of our business that we do still need a human being for. And there's been plenty of times that I've opened up Chat GDP that and seen, okay, this is a pretty good prompt. I need to get in there and work it a little bit. It's pretty robotic. And I think that it's still new. And there is still that need to have a human set of eyes go over something. So what do you think on AI and how we're going to be using it going forward?
That was me. I genuinely think that AI is the biggest leap forward in technology since the internet in general. It's going to drastically push our society forward in every aspect of things. It's going to bring us closer together as humans. It's going to take tedious tasks off our plate so that we can focus more on bigger picture things. And so, AI it's still getting better, right? It's still learning based on all of these prompts. So it's only going to get better and better. We've already been using AI for years. Look at Siri, Alexa, Google Assistant. These are all things that we've already sort of adopted, right? From voice control activation. We already have AI in our pocket. And I think a lot of people just aren't, thinking about it that way, right? They're like, because we see these new things like Chat GPT and all these amazing tools that are popping up. And of course, people run to a fear model first, but these things have already been integrated into our lives. You don't even realize it. You're talking to an AI every time you say, "Hey Siri, call dad." That's AI that's doing that. So I think it's going to be used as a lot of personal assistant oriented stuff. A lot of the ways that ChatGPT is being used right now, and all of these writing tools, is script writing, content writing, anything that you would type up and write. This can do it for you faster and do the research along the way. And like you said, it's like, yeah, it's a little clunky, right? And you have to work out your prompts as well. That's a whole other topic, is just like prompt, focusing on the prompts and what you ask it to and how you ask it to. It's just mind boggling. But using it as an assistance and not the absolute, I think is how it's going to enhance and benefit all of us. So there's going to be tons of people that just like copy paste. And I think that's going to get, Google's already flagging a lot of that content. There's already ways to flag this content. But what it's going to do is save you a ton of time, right? So like if you were writing long emails, you were writing blog articles on your own, and it took you, 5 hours to do research and writing on a blog article, maybe shorter, maybe longer, it's going to drastically save you that time, right? Because what it's going to do is it's going to automatically generate you an overview and a script that you can work off of, and then just add your voice to it, add your perspective, add your expertise and authority on that as well. And it's just going to save you so much time because it already got you started. Now, there's other really cool ways that this stuff is playing with the internet as well. There's a really cool Google Chrome extension called Merlin that takes ChatGPT and makes it a Chrome extension across the internet. So, for instance, a couple quick use cases is you can just go on Twitter and highlight a tweet and ask Merlin to write me a witty response. And it'll automatically write you a witty response, and you can kind of customize it a little bit and then tweet it back. So it's a built-in assistant in your Chrome browser. I think it's very much going to assist and make a lot of these tedious tasks a lot easier and save us a lot of time. I don't think it's going to fully just take over a lot of people's jobs. Some things will definitely be automated, and your job will change. Your job is going to be adjusted. And I think the most important thing here that I can say is that you need to embrace the change. It's scary. It's the new thing. If you don't embrace it, you're going to get left behind. And I'm sorry to hear that. You're not going to be able to do anything about it. It's coming. So you might as well embrace it, because otherwise you're going to get left in the dirt.
It's so true. And I think that we all kind of thought about that back when Bill Gates was sitting on David Letterman's couch, and David Letterman was asking Bill Gates to explain this new thing called the internet. And Bill Gates was trying his hardest to sit there and be like, well, I mean, you can listen to the baseball game. And David Letterman sits back and goes, I can do that now. It's called the radio. But Bill Gates was like, no, you don't need to be in New York if you want to listen to the Mets game. You could be in LA and listen to the Mets game, and you can talk with other people. And I actually love that clip so much, because I think it is very relevant to where we are today with AI, with Web3, with blockchain. I think all of that is going to be here sooner than we might want to admit. And I said this before, but I think 2023 is when we're really going to see more embracing of Web3, AI, blockchain. I think it's going to become more mainstream. And the longer that you sit on the sidelines and say, that's all funny money, it doesn't make sense to me, whatever, you're going to get left behind. So, Austin, I absolutely loved this episode. It was such a great conversation. Great having you on. And I'd love it if, people, you're on all the social media platforms, but if people want to connect with you, what is the best way for them to do so?
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Katie. It was a fascinating conversation. I just love talking about this stuff. If anyone wants to connect with me, my username is SocialtyPro across the board. My name is Austin Armstrong. You can also find me anywhere. And again, my new website is syllabi.io if you want to check out what we're doing in the AI space.
Awesome. Well, thanks again so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much for listening to this week's episode of Rocky Mountain Marketing. Make sure to subscribe so that you can continue navigating the world of entrepreneurship. And I'd love to hear from you. Please leave the show a review and connect with me on social media. You can find me on Instagram at @IamKatieBrinkley or connect with me on LinkedIn. And if you're ready to start making some sales on social media, be sure to grab my free guide to selling in the DMs without being spammy. You can get that at katiebrinkley.com. Let's keep taking your marketing to all new heights.